all four of these here. Dave was here, Tricia Hall, Darlene here, and Grant
Here.
Ms. Hobbs.
Here.
So here is January's meeting minutes. Everybody, questions?
I'll make a motion that we approve the January meeting minutes by 100%.
I have a motion to approve the January's accounts. Second. And second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. So next second paper is the annual report, financial report. Yeah, go there, yes.
They can look at it and make that question.
Say, let's think through it, or if you have questions, I'll look at it, or, well, no.
Is there any way we're gonna figure out while I read it? Maybe next week, maybe 2 late, next meeting?
Yep, has to be by March 1st.
So you gave me this time, should we just,
Actually, all that just got put in the gateway.
sounds good to me. That's how we, that's how we did, we don't, you know. It's beautiful, we did the job.
Just the gateway report. Down there
Why
by,
is it big when I can't figure?
down there by funds, down there by expenditures.
But you know how I like
The state's on the sets of dates and what has to be done.
Can I ask a question? Can you explain what the report is?
This report is
Is it expenditures or is it your
It is
budget?
everything in the budget by line item, by township funds, the township assistance, ambulance fund, fire fund, building debt, which we had the one payment at the beginning of the year yet last year, that's why that's on there. Fire cumulative fund and payroll. That tells where it started, how much was spent out.
So it's a recap of 2025 is my question.
This is.
It's not what you're going into 26, it's not your plan.
It's all receipts and
Okay,
disbursements.
that's all we need then. That's just,
In a nutshell, receipts and disbursements.
that's what I'm curious about.
And it is in there by fund,
So another question would be, does it matter if you feel like it or you don't, it's already been done, right? That's just for your information, to look over it You have to approve it.
We need a vote to approve it.
You have to approve it.
Okay. So
That's why I wanted to wait.
take a few minutes and look at it, see if you have any questions. I don't know where you, I mean, we can all, if you have questions, we can look at it. We can go to that online. I don't think it's like, this should be the fire. So this section is fire, it itemizes out where everything went, how much, total services and charges.
But I just feel like we should have enough time to read this and study it. Even though it's already passed and all that, it's what they never were here for. And that's their job.
So we're here for every meeting to approve what goes on, and then this is approve what we did all year long. Okay?
That makes sense. So you're saying this has already been approved on it, but, and you're making, see, now I understand, you're saying this is already done.
That's the.
This is everything that's paid out.
This is done, it's already.
The money's coming in, the money that's going out.
There was something in there you didn't like, it's not changing now or nothing.
No.
All right, thanks.
I think the only change would be it would revert, 26 you would revert back, so, correct?
No, this has nothing to do with budget. This is only receipts and disbursements.
Okay.
So as you guys bought equipment for the ambulance or equipment for the fire department, and it comes to the board, and the board approved the expenditure, that's what all that is. That's all the receipts that came in for, property tax draws and all that.
See, I didn't know, but we're okay, and sign it, that's how we paid it, but I just.
That's all for
Well, I guess they paid it for us, so why are we, you know, you understand what I'm saying, we already okayed all this. This has got to follow up, make sure.
This is your proof of what we did last year.
I'm not gonna read through this, they'll say that this will help, I don't know if this makes it work or help. But it says, I forward you the trustee of Lafayette Township, Madison County, Indiana, the sole and confirm under the penalty of perjury that proceeding report contains information required by Indiana Code 36-6-4-13, and is true and correct that the amounts with which I am charged in this report are all the amounts received by me, and that the various items of expenditures credited have been fully paid in the amount stated, that such payments were made without express on-line agreements, that any portion thereof shall be retained by or repaid to me or any other person. A legal abstract that contains statements required in Indiana Code 36-6-4-13. Subsection A5 and subsection A6 is available for inspection in county auditor's office. I further a complete detailed annual report, just those, together with all the accounting vouchers showing the names of persons who, having been paid money by the township, have been filed as required by law in the office of the county auditor, and that copies of such annual reports are in custody of the township board and the state board of accounts. Said report is subject to inspection by any taxpayer of the township.
I make a motion to accept the annual financial report.
I have a motion to accept.
Oh, okay.
And now second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, so everybody signs. Let's see, what did you see accepted? Through both countries. That was perfect.
Well, to explain our annual report, what happens is our software company provides us a way to take the documents and we upload it into the gateway. So everything that was done in 2025 transfers over, and then I spent about 45, 50 hours. Then you have to manually enter it. And then when you get to the end, it tells you nope, you're off here or you're off here. And then you have to go in and re-find it. And, it's sitting there waiting, it's not been submitted to the state yet, but we have no errors or no submission.
One of the questions I want to know, why tree? Because I didn't understand, these are things approved, but it's,
It's a recap, that's all it is.
I like to read. Well, I don't think.
It's a recap.
If I don't ask, I'll never know.
Lots of numbers, just a lot of stuff to look at, figure out.
Yes, it is. And is this available to the public too?
Okay, what? Involving public certification.
Gateways, in that software,
Every station will get one.
and that software, we have
I was doing cover that with
They're putting zones on the roadway. They're now requiring you to do additional appropriations. You have to upload them 14 days before the meeting, so you have to advertise early, upload it 14 days before the meeting, and then that gets advertised on Gateway.
You still have to advertise the thing.
You still have to advertise in the paper, but it gets advertised on the Gateway and then in the paper. It's just them trying to get more information out. My thoughts eventually, they'll do completely away with advertising in the newspaper because I would only print one day a week. What's the Herald do?
You're more likely to go to there's no paper on the hill.
So, and that'll eventually go away. I mean,
Look at them now. I mean, little bit of
everybody's so techy and everybody is on that and lies on paper to it than anything, so, but trust me, Rob, 45 hours of looking at that, I don't want to see that thing again.
Well, I took this job thinking, I don't know, help, and that's the thing, somebody, I can't help if I'm not aware. If I don't understand, if there was never.
Well, you're gonna be able to help them better monthly meetings, but things that's brought up then, that's when you need to ask questions. If you have questions, and
When I had a question, if you told me I had too many questions, I made the meeting right there.
Everybody does once in a while. So I don't know what that on here, so. I did reach out to the DLGF, was concerning the work brought up last month about EMS funding. We can add a tax rate to the EMS fund. It will come into effect for 27, so we'll have to write it in for the budget. What it'll do, we'll take out the fire max levy fund to put part of it in the ambulance fund. It doesn't increase our fund, it just pulls something out of the fire side. So that's something to decide and discuss. We want to pull it out of the fire side or leave it, just say self-funded. We have until June, July timeframe to get it all this for the budget, writing on the budget for 27.
Corey, do you know what our tax is now on the fire budget that we would be losing if we took down the fire budget? What percentage is it?
We just have to figure out how much we want to take out of it. So if you get X amount, you just figure out how much out of that.
Because that was one thing I wanted to put out that night, is to see if we could try to do that, or what we needed to do to work on trying to get some kind of EMS budget.
Like let's just say if the fire fund is 20 cents out of every, say it's $100,000, or however we tried to figure that out the other day, you got to figure out how much out of that 20 cents you wanted to take from the fire to move over to the ambulance side, whether it's 10 cents, 2 cents, 1, And I go to explain it over and again, it's a long decimal number, and it's really,
Well, that figure two is 0.0333, okay?
And then for the fire is 0.14, I think is what it is, 23 something. There's nothing for the EMS at all. So if you took the 14, just take it to 15, round it up, and then the 0.3, you're at 18 cents total. If you rounded that up, I don't know if you can round that up. So if we took like 6 cents out of it, that would put us probably somewhere.
If you wanted to put $100,000 from your fire into your ambulance, and I'm just using that number because that's a number
We
you
don't
use.
know the numbers, so I'm just.
Right, then that determines what the percentage is. Because your max levy is your max levy. If it's $350,000, and whatever you take out of that, it reduces your max levy. So
As long as you're under 3%, you're fine, right?
as long as you stay under your, whatever that percentage for that line of that fund is, then you can do that.
the two total together.
Yeah.
Well, we'll work some numbers, and then in your next meeting, I'll come back with an idea for you guys, what I think we would need from the ambulance, because that works for you guys, so you don't have to make it a number. So I've been working numbers already, that's what I've done. If you want me to, if you don't want me to, that's fine, you guys can do it. I'm trying to make this thing work, so that's what I'm trying to do.
We do have, Thursday last week, AT&T had installed fiber throughout the area. So we have fiber internet, we'll have fiber phone, front and back. With that, the new bill for that will be $214 a month for front and back. Through Comcast with internet and phone, we were paying $391 a month. So with the new install and minus, well, we were paying minus the new install, that'll save us $177 a month. And if we put that into tax dollars, you think it'll be better? I hope so, yeah. They say the fiber is better, and I haven't had any issue with the other, but I never, and that's all that's in the bag. So whatever they got in trouble and everything. I haven't shut it off in the front yet, so I got switched over completely. That way it's a deal on that. My next thing on the list, I did some checking and asking and checking around with some other things. That's a request for board meeting minutes. There is something called an Access to Public Records Act. So anybody that wants any kind of board meeting minutes will have to put it in writing. Here's the form, not form, but it kind of explains to what you want, so we can put that with whoever wants it, what they want. We can do it legal route and insurance, right? And I hung a bunch of copies up on that board. And here's one if anybody wants to see it, if they want it. We've had 5 board reliefs so far this year. 2 of them have been more than one, like rent and utilities or utilities and gas, something along that lines. I do know there's 2 more out. I talked to another one today, so it'll be 3. Whether they come back or not, I'm not sure if they have done 5 different individuals with 7 total forms of assistance. All the W-2s are mailed out. So if anybody hears everybody that doesn't have one, let us know. We can track that down. Something else gets worse all the time. I got a check yesterday in the mail back from where I mailed it December 30th for Caterpillar or McAllister that did the PM system on the generator. They thought they every other week, and the only thing I could tell them was that we wrote the check, and of course after I emailed her Monday yesterday, I went out to get the mail, and there it was, and half the envelope was ripped in half check the scripts after all there, but it went back out in the mail today, so that, hopefully that, they'll get it, but it went to Minnesota, I think, so it's hard telling how long that'll take. I think we talked about it, 100% when we did. They've got a SOP, SOG group form, of 5 or 6 people. It started out with the chief, went to the EMS assistant chief, he says resign, so I'm assuming that's going back to the chief, that's his decision. They can figure out if they haven't met yet that I know of, so they'll get that form to go, and hopefully that'll be pretty easy.
David, you know that's what you do with SOG means, right?
Standard operational.
You need to,
Well,
It just,
you can walk.
it just, right?
you just said that. Well, I finish what you're gonna say, but
I got me off track now.
you're asking what SOG was.
Yeah.
So,
You don't know what SOG stands for. How do you know what SOG stands for? SOG? Okay. Let me show you something. This is one reason I don't want to be up here. It's not you personal at all. Because you signed up. On SOGs and SOPs. To get me one to tell me what they are. So we go document. There it is. Both of you signed it. I want to know. There's the SOP.
This is the census that we do. And we do. We do the initial.
You read this document. You read this document.
But they're working on the, right?
That's not what I'm asking. Did you read this document before you signed it for the prior?
See what that, they said they're working on it, they're gonna change it, so.
I'm asking you again, did you read this document? No, I'm asking you, did you read the document?
Well, I didn't sit here and read it word by word, no.
Okay.
Did you?
Yes.
Better than I.
No, I'm not better than you. I want to know the information that how many times you walked through that door? How many times you went out that day? Either one of you.
I've been out there,
How many times you went out there?
a couple times.
Yeah, a couple of times, years.
There's some buildings in here.
You guys are not going to make decisions. I want you to take a switch around again. I wish you'd take it more that you are valuable and that you're needed, but you also need to know,
Sometimes we got feelings.
yeah. But you don't, you're signing things that you don't even know what they mean. You're not reading them. I've seen it more than once. If Lisa says, "Dude, ain't that right?" And she got you, "Ain't that right, Patty? Ain't that right, Patty? Ain't that right, Patty?" So Patty, get you, she got me, I said, "Where's my son of mine?" Because we never discussed it. So that's what I'm saying. What hurts is that you guys are signing important documents that you have no knowledge of what that document means or what it could mean to this department and all of us.
I have a question for you. In the trustee's line of business and his obligations, where do you think fire ranks in the report and all of the things that he does?
It's kind of want to leave some.
And so, when we were called in for an audit, all 3 of you board members were called in to attend that audit meeting with me in a musty basement that was overheated, super hot, and guess who didn't go to the audit meeting? So why are you signing papers when you're uninformed and you don't go to audit meetings?
That's what I just asked.
You have an obligation to attend those meetings, and you have been invited. You have an obligation to attend every single monthly meeting.
When
You
you
can't
have
point one finger and not have three more pointing back at you.
what I'm saying is, it's important that we know, and we know what's going on back there.
It was important for you to be at that audit meeting.
Because he walked our steps and he knows it, he more than anybody.
All I'm
So I'm just
saying is,
saying,
you can't throw mud.
I'm not throwing any mud. They're running again. I just want them to be more informed on what's going on with what they're making decisions on. That's all I'm asking. Understand what a tanker is and a pumper is. You know, understand that we have 4 ambulances now. Or we're gonna have 4 ambulances now. You know, I'm saying, any Corey, was there any input on that ambulance? I mean, anything? I mean, anybody else? From the people that actually drive the ambulance all the time and work it all the time? No. That's all I'm asking
That's
for.
not true. It's not true. We were here for that, and we were.
We,
Well, Amy and I come to every meeting, well, and we're on the
you're not
internet.
going to back that with the meeting, things that we had in this meeting, because.
No, I'm saying that he did get input on the ambulance by people that run the ambulance on a regular basis. So that was my comment, that part was not true.
So he got from us saying, nobody has anything kind of do with the board, you know, like a Brian or Gavin or somebody, they don't want to hear back there. But I'm hearing that here's an ambulance and they don't even know anything about it. Okay, so what happened was, everybody's feeling gets hurt. And then there's a war. And it's getting worse. And in order to help us to try to close that gap, you know, between the two, more or less, chairman's 2 entities will stand being one.
I don't know, there's been several meetings, that there's been, I don't know whether they're firemen or ambulance people or who they are. They come and they don't introduce themselves, I have no idea who the people are. It'd be nice to know when they come to our meetings, that who they are and why they're here. Are they just interested in what we're doing, or do they have a problem, or?
But you could ask them.
But they never do anything, they never say anything.
I know. And that's not going to use it like the statute, like to say it.
I have nothing against the fire department. I've had within my family for years, I know, my husband.
And I
And you
appreciate
know
that.
the ambulance, because you never know when you're gonna need that yourself, but.
Not getting out the door. So Corey's willing to figure, it sounds to me like Corey's willing to figure out a way to start getting that ambulance out the door by doing some kind of moving money around, is that correct?
That's bizarre, how much they want to give up on the fire.
Okay, that's, we're not having this many fires. We gotta get that ambulance supported.
Well, that leads me into the fire report. Since you guys are up there debating, I'll just come up there and read my fire report for you guys so you guys can understand what you're talking about. So the most general, I call Michael Phelps, I'm the fire chief of Lafayette Township. Nice to meet you. Dave, I'm Michael. You can know me, that's right. Rob, I'm Michael. Larry and Amy both know me. We had 60 runs in the month of January. That's how many runs we had on the fire department. We had 25 EMS calls. Out of the EMS calls, we had EMS with no response, no runs we had to give away, so that's 3. We gave away 3 runs, we did not get bust out on 3 runs. EMS with, EMS Rescue 35, that's a rescue truck that we roll, that we gave away, there's 2 of them. So we gave away a total of 5 runs on that, 2 runs. The ambulance didn't get out the door, and the rescue didn't get out the door. For the fire side of it, we had 19 fire calls. Now that all indicates not just house fires, that indicates car fires, car wrecks, CO detectors, burns, illegal burns, something to that nature that they needed a fire truck on. We did have a few mutual aid structure fires that we did respond on, so there were 19 total calls on that. Mutual aid EMS calls that we went on was one that we responded on. This is for being that we got paid on is one, or we billed on. The baby box alarm out of them 60 runs, which is what that's what it is. There's 4 of them. Mutual aid with no response whatsoever. That's 4 of them. We didn't. So Richland called us, or Eastside called us, or somebody called us. We didn't get a bus. We didn't get a truck. We didn't get work across the door. It's 4 of them. So now you're at 5. No on Rescue 35, 1, 6. So you're at 10 runs so far that we did not get out the door. And then you had a mutual aid run with ambulance 33 or 34 did not respond is another one. So you had 11 runs total for the out of the 60 that we did not get an apparatus out the door.
So you're saying that if I call 911, or either get an ambulance or I have a fire, and dispatch the contact you,
Yes,
we don't know.
absolutely.
Somebody will come.
Absolutely. That's why I'm trying
Other than
No, it could be somebody, but you don't know what's going to come from. That's why I've been trying to say, we gotta figure out a way to get 24-hour coverage up there, or get it somewhere where we can get people safe up there. That's all I've been trying to fight for. Out of that, so I don't have the hours covered up because I did not know what hours that we had for the whole month of January. But we did have members only, not counting paid members, the Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We had 126 hours that was volunteer home. That means people, whatever, me, myself, whatever runs. So we had 126 hours that was volunteer that people come in and give up their free time to sit. With that being said, we also lost 2 members. Amy herself, she quit the fire department. And then Micah, her son, also left the fire department. So that's 2 people that we lost. Which then leaving, we got in 8 other people. So out of that 8 other people, there's 5 of them that are EMTs already, and 3 of them that are not EMTs. So we do have 8 new members on the roster, 5 being EMTs, 3 not. So that being said, for the month of January, we had Kyle Foster at 13 runs, Corey Hughes at 13 runs, Brad Foster at 13 runs, Michael Foster had 16 runs, and Joey's Spurrier had 13 runs. Them are all double-digit run totals for the people in this department out of the 16. So that, and there's a lot of other people that make runs, but I just give you the double digits. So them are the people. I personally, only come, I don't take a paycheck from here. I never have. I don't do the Monday through Friday thing. I come when I feel like I need it or an incident goes on. I guess that's my fire report that I have. Do you have any questions for me? So I don't have a copy of it, give to you. I did not make a copy. I just shut off my notes. So you don't have any more questions for me. I'll go sit down. Okay, good. One other thing I guess I did forget, I can mention real quick. After Amy did leave, we did have access to all the totals, so the hours might be different, but then Amy got in there and switched it, it all went to Corey, so we lost the hours that was previously totaled on the run sheet, there was zeros. So I just went off of one Amy that these were the hours that we had stored in there, so I don't know what the total would be with everything in there, but this is from Amy's departure, which was a week or 2 ago, so.
Unfortunately, they just asked for my records somebody access my files, but there's also Insane Township units, and we do not have permission to access those.
Unfortunately, you were an employee from the back of the department, and there were our records, and we didn't mess with your township notes, but that's what happened to your there.
Maybe
They accessed meeting minutes,
It took over, it also took over one file that was a payroll file, which we shouldn't have access to, but
We have to do the payroll, I don't know.
you don't have to pay a lot of it.
You know. We didn't need to lose her. Yeah. Now we got all these rumors, we didn't even think out of that. Now we got files they giving, this ain't giving, that ain't giving, and it just.
I feel like I've given them on my departure, I feel like I was very forthcoming with information, things that I did. Next step processes, I think if they would have asked for the files, probably would have given it to them. Unfortunately, it was one of the things that caused my departure is the fact that it was brought up that I was double dipping. And I thought I did a pretty darn good job at allocating my time. Typically, 3:30 to 5 was in Michael's office every single day, working on grants, working on, let's see here, yeah, freaking list. State forms, renewal forms, fire reports, ESO reports, certificate of compliance, member accountability. And then I gave 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. one day a week to respond to the EMT. So I don't know how it was misconstrued that I was double dipping, but I chose to leave the fire side and stay with the township side, so I am affiliated. I was also cornered in the chief's office after a meeting, and a question was brought to me about why do we have Lisa? What is her role? K and C did everything themselves. That saves the township money. So Lisa, why don't you go with your role? What is it you do here? Because I spend 50 hours going over paper.
I do all the data entry into the statement of accounts, upload the statement of accounts. I balance out, I double check Corey's figures, I balance everything out. I file, federal reports for the township for this side up here. I do all gateway work, all budgeting work. If anybody wants to come and sit with me for 40 hours and look at black and white paper and just do nothing but data entry, come on. You know, when I got asked to come up here, Steve and his wife were paying a company, actually 2 accounting companies, over $25,000 a year. I spoke with Corey about getting this program in because this program would get rid of that because it does everything in it. When we got it, I had experience. He asked me to stay on and help him learn the system. I've done that. I believe I even talked to Michael about staying on.
You're not here because of me, Lisa.
So,
I brought you here for Terry, if you remember right.
right, and I was gonna leave. And, you know, I got an impression of Mr. Hughes, and him and I talked about it. That's not the case. I do my work up here. I'm not just taking a paycheck and not doing a damn thing. There are many times that hunting down 2 cents is a real pain in the ass, and I wish it would not be that way. I'd rather be off $2,000 than 2 cents. It's a lot of work up there, and I will make this statement: if Corey does not make it through this election, I'm done.
I know I was hard. I know I've already been.
Well, I have not seen that man, or the board, including you, tell these guys no one time. They figured out a way to do it outside of a fire truck. If they needed something, y'all busted your ass to get it for them. When we got down to the end of the year, the EMS line item was overdrawn. I talked to Corey about that. We had to move stuff to the fire side for the, what are those ones called?
ALS.
ALS interception bills. Corey and I looked at the budget, we put $110,000 or $105,000 dollars in there this year for the budget. The receipts coming in, you want to save a little bit of a cushion in there, because if you need something, if you've got $20,000 and you need it, nobody says you can't have it, but you have to ask permission and get additional appropriations done. I don't like that. I think if you guys have the funds, you'll be able to support it. But you have to remember, they only give you $106,000 a year. You don't want to spend it down to the last penny, because you've got to start with the balance for the next year.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, but that's not 106,000 that they give us. That's 106,000 that the EMS has to make that budget, because we don't do a tax. There's not a tax break on it. So that's.
When I say give it, I mean, they give you permission to spend that money.
Right, but if that bus doesn't go out the door at all, then that 106,000 will never even be there.
Right, and if that money ain't there, you ain't spending it.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why we give us 11 runs. We're trying to save to get more, to get it. That's all this fighting and arguing and all this little crap. It's over trying to get the bus out of the door. We don't do enough fires to buy a $1.5 million fire truck that I got 2 phone calls today about, we're buying a $1.5 million fire truck? No. The quote I got was for $940,000. And it was 48 per, not a 54-foot, $1.5 million fire truck. Just 2 phone calls I got off today were. That's the only reason I'm upset for even being here, because I got called and asked why we were buying a $1.5 million fire truck. I didn't know we were buying a $1.5 million fire truck. I said, you know what? I said, maybe we are. That was on that one I didn't know about. But the quote I got for it was for $940,000, I believe. That's right. $940,000 for 48 footers. So, all this separation doesn't need to happen.
No, come up here and come out. You know what I think the board ought to do? I think the board ought to require somebody from the fire department to give a fire report at every
Don't
meeting.
worry, it'll happen from here on out. There'll be one just like that every time.
That way everybody knows what's going on.
Every time, there'll be one just like that every time.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Weiss, I don't mean to call you out, but didn't you say didn't we not buy an ambulance? Did you not tell Mr. Judd, that we didn't buy an ambulance?
I haven't had any problem, I just understood it.
Okay, then you were at it though, right? You were at every board meeting, because that's what,
You said you bought this stuff, and you get a brand new ambulance. You're not getting a brand new ambulance.
yes ma'am, we are. $180,000 that we're spending on a brand new ambulance, and there's 3 of them sitting out there.
I agree with you, though.
Well, the money in the appropriation was for $400,000, I think, is what I.
Yeah, and that is outside their tax budget.
Right, but that's what the board voted on, was $400,000, correct? For the ambulance and the cot and the supplies.
So, go ahead.
465, 400, I don't know.
Can we get back to one thing instead of bring up, let's discuss one thing at a time,
Sure.
please?
I'm good with whatever.
So if you look at what come in last year on your EMS, that's what you prepare to spend the next year. You don't wanna make a budget of $135,000. So that's what we've done. Has anybody come up and asked for the numbers on what the EMS does?
I asked for minutes, I can't even get there.
You have to.
But I've asked for 3 weeks, so I'm just not finding out.
Yeah, there's no
So I'm looking it up. But I was sitting here last week, and he said, I'm gonna try to have it to you by the end of the week. Because he didn't know how to turn my gateway, he was gonna have Amy to it, try to get it to me before the end of the week. Well, and then I found out tonight, I got the right.
Yeah,
So I can't get minutes, how am I gonna get budgets and all this other stuff?
well, you can get on the computer, you can get on the gateway, there's an open, come to a meeting, come to a meeting, there's.
Well, maybe it's not 5 o'clock, maybe we're gonna get you.
Well,
The board said that night, that was the board's decision, nobody else.
So to me, it says if you can't come.
it's not 2 o'clock in the afternoon like they do in the city of Anderson.
But that's besides the point.
Yeah, so, you know, I've heard, well, we're hiding money, nobody's hiding money up here. Come up and ask. And, you know, I got asked to come on because of my experience with doing own budget and all that. I'm not told you guys one damn line about how that budget works. When I referred to Patty, because Patty's been doing this 49 years. When I started learning budget, who the hell do you think I went to? Right there.
How do we get to that gateway?
Indiana Gateway. Well, and then when it pops up, it'll say public access.
Public access, and then we just look at some.
And then it goes in there and it tells you to look it up by county. You got 92 counties, that's scroll down, then inside that, it will say to look up the department or township or whatever entity it is, it tells you what word they use. And you can go with the City of Anderson, the Pendleton, the every one of them. Every one of them. So I think, you know, it's like this between all townships and fire departments. And it
I just want to
doesn't.
serve the people. I don't even give a shit if you pay me $1. I just want to get the bus out the door and invite fires. I don't care about anything else.
You know,
That's God's honest truth. All this mumble and fighting over money is ridiculous. And I'm put in a bad position because my son's running for the board, Jerry's running for the board, Corey's running for the board. So I stay out of all of it. I'm completely separate from it. And that's my stand on it. It's public information. You need anybody ask me, I'll help. I'm separate. I'll go.
you know, I go all involved if you have questions. Now, if you come up and ask me a question, I will be honest and tell you, we're not gonna have this discussion unless Corey's sitting there, because Corey should be the one telling you, Corey is the trustee. So,
You understand, you know, the comment about Amy being the corner, I think corner here is not, I came here as a resident of the township, just asking questions. And I, from what you said, I'm here as a resident and taxpayer of Lafayette Township, now as a fire department, when I talk to her. And as her being deputy trustee, she should be able to answer questions. Is that wrong?
I think you should, in my opinion, you should wait, and Corey should be part of the conversation.
She can answer a question.
Maybe you don't have all the same hearsay. You got one person playing middleman between departments, and all put them in a hell of a position, and it's a bunch of hearsay and everything's going on. Aren't we all adults that we can sit down and go through it?
That's what I thought was stupid.
Yes, deputy by township statute only steps in as the trustee if Corey is out of state. Otherwise, Corey's the one you need to be asking Corey anyway, guys.
Man, just one time, I know it was a big deal, but from now on, that's where I'll go to. And that's what I want to for the minutes, correct?
You know,
Straight to you.
if you wanna ask me what I do up here, I'll be glad to tell you. Come on up and sit.
I'll try to catch you both up there at the same time, so I don't get one.
You know, this is out of control and out of hand, and it happens every damn time there's an election. It happened, I seen it too when Perry was running and then Corey was running. It's gotta stop, guys.
I'm not doing nothing, I'm not bringing the fire department or nothing into it. I'm not here as a fire department, no. I'm
My
not here
question is,
as a
what I ever done to you for you to question and make me feel like I'm not, put it out there that I'm not doing my job.
If I understand you was doing your job.
If you wanna go back and pay $25,000, I'll walk out there.
I was asking what your job was. That's what I was asking.
Where'd your wife go?
You said welcome.
Somewhere there.
I can take you home.
What'd you say?
Anybody want anything else on that subject? We meet with that board. I've only got a couple things left on my list. Brian, you're one of them. Do you want to cover what you asked me this week, or you want me to?
You can.
Brian he actually approached the officers about, taking over, adding to the paid group's duties, mowing the yard, which would mean we have to buy more. So, like I said, we would have to bring that to the board. We need to make the decision not use whether your top cut for mowing, which, I don't, one way or the other, and B, we have to have approval to buy a mower.
What about station two?
Station two is being taken care of by the tenant.
What about plowing in the winter time? Doesn't he do it all?
Yes. And he does our, snowplow and salting for the lot now.
That's all out there.
Walker.
No, there's plenty of people on this truck. There's people on here that's got it. When you have a parking lot back there, we can plow.
I personally came up and spread salt on it.
Well, actually, High Creek, these trucks got their own plow on it, so.
They have a few trucks like that, so.
So that's a, I don't know that it's been, Top Gun has been doing it for years. That's a board decision if you would like to, I mean, we've got a couple months to find an over, and you want to give us, if you approve that, give us some sort of idea of money range.
If we can keep that lower, low, not, I would say we need a zero. Well,
Well, I answer that. I don't know if I would say that.
Then mow it like.
I would say that. Even an outsider, exercise, you want to be.
That's what the question.
I wanted to know if that was something that.
Well, I'm
I guess she brought up a lot right there. I mean, that's
We do the station gate gas for generators, like the grass strip pumps.
Yeah. So, so, I'll read one.
I know, when someone like that, you have the one, when you go to the road, you get one. They're secretary or anything. I have already talked to Ryan at Bengals, of course, I didn't expect anybody to go make game that kind of truck. A new one would start around $5,500. He does have a used tractor type mower. He said that would be 69 hours on it. That he said that they discussed it, but let's have it for $2,500. Otherwise, we're selling fiddles for $3,250.
Is it what anymore?
It's a Simplicity rod mower. And I've been out of the mowers for a while. You can remember if it was a 48 or 52-inch cut.
That's not a big no.
I don't want to fall back on me because I don't have time to do it. I have my voice of concern to Brian that there's enough of them that on big ship that don't do the daily duties now. Can't imagine anybody getting that would actually mow the other department. And he said he was fine with that.
I got one Chad that I will, I can depend on him, and I have to depend on him, especially when it's bad, because of my own Chad. I very seldom not be able to get out.
That was not a decision I wanted to make. I thought I wanted you guys to make it.
I think you can make it. It's just, now you want us to make, you're wanting us to make the decision, you just say you didn't want to make it on your own.
I wanted to be for this, okay, correct.
I understand that. I understand what you're saying.
But I don't want to be the one, well, Brian got to mow the yard this week, Brian got to mow the yard this week. Not saying you're gonna be the one that mow every week.
Yeah, there's, I personally,
28 people or whatever there is, 30 anyway.
Just kind of like Patty said, there's gas, so that's
You're gonna have other things besides the lawnmower, you're gonna have gas, you're gonna want a blower, a weed cutter, you're gonna have other things, repairs, and
somewhere to keep.
how long they're gonna last.
Chad does do a little bit more than he charges for. He does spray every week, not every week, every month. And he told me from that, when I talked to him about last year to see about our costs, he said because it saved him so much time that he would donate that back to the department, to the township, that he would spray monthly or whenever it started to need spray around the edges.
Michael, he's the one that I put up to the gas pumps at Ricker, and he gave me a check for $500.
That was because of the guy.
That's just because of time, he gave me a check.
That would have been one check.
Good million. No, like, volunteer, that he just give us donation. Sweet person.
So I said,
I,
anybody on the fire department got a yay or nay, or just thought on that, what do you think, what you gotta say from it?
I guess the question, how much you gotta save from it, what you gotta do with the extra money you're saving?
Well, you're gonna have, $500, you're roughly gonna have like 14 months to get it paid off.
Yeah, it's gonna take a year and a half to pay.
Right, which is 2 years a month.
Which is a charge for seven million. How does he do that?
85,
Okay, so it's not included in the,
no. 85 per push and salt depends on how much salt it puts down in that. Do salt and Gavin can touch that a little better than I could, but.
But the ones with the ceiling right there.
Right, I don't want to lose him at all of it, but
And you can use it doing this, Sally, if you.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him, so.
If I was on the board, I'd make a motion just to keep the way it is, but that's what
that's what
I know Brian wants the extra, but I think he can push them on my yard.
Well, I think that people that feel strongly about the levels.
I like where Brian's going, but I really do like how.
But that's no problem, and most of the money we pay him is so little.
Sorry, that's your thing. Can't do everything you want.
Well, I guess, a good motion to.
I don't think we're not making any changes.
We're good with it, we just have a document, I have extra motions, I would love to see our guys out doing it, but
yeah,
also supporting the guy in our township too, so.
and it always takes one time to get that nail and then it turns into another.
Or our guys who's out there mowing the ditch and he throws rock through with the Corvette driving by and then. Good luck, because you might as well make it the worst case scenario, that's our. Yeah, you do that. You would be on. Okay, I got a long letter here that I was asked to read because the member stopped. Really able to be here tonight because he had to. Bear with me. I hate to read this out loud. Dear members of the Township Board and Township Trustees, I am formally requesting administrative review on ongoing safety, leadership, conduct, and organizational culture issues at the fire department that I believe present risk to patient care, member retention, and township liability. These concerns are being submitted in good faith and in the interest of public safety and organizational accountability. First sections, patient care and operational safety concerns. There have been multiple occasions where the fire chief has responded directly to medical scenes despite not holding current medical certification to legally provide patient care. In at least one instance, he has drove past the fire station while an EMT was present and raised a response and unable to transport because of their qualified driver mistake. This resulted in a delay of approximately 2 to 3 minutes while another driver had to respond. Delays in EMS response, even brief ones, can have life-altering consequences. Additionally, non-certified personnel responding in medical capacities create potential liability exposure for the township. Second section, leadership, conduct, and professional standards. There's a consistent pattern of negative and derogatory comments about the department members and personnel from neighboring agencies. This conduct erodes morale, damages mutual aid relationships, and contributes to an unprofessional work environment. Leadership behavior sets the cultural standards of an organization, and the current example being set is contributing to division rather than teamwork. Next section is direction to eliminate township EMS service. The chief has openly stated an intention to remove an ambulance service from the township and have EMS provided by an outside agency. While service models should always be evaluated responsibly, advocating to eliminate a life-saving township service rather than addressing staffing, training, or operational challenges raises several serious concerns about leadership priorities and commitment to improve internal systems. Division between fire and EMS, next section. There appears to be an ongoing effort to separate fire and EMS personnel rather than promote integrated operation. Modern emergency response relies on coordinated fire and EMS functions. Internal division reduces effectiveness and negatively impacts service to the public. Next section, retaliation, resistance to accountability. A major concern is a pattern involving members who gain experience at full-time departments in return with expectations for higher standards, accountability, and operational improvements. Rather than being seen as assets, these individuals are frequently treated as problems. When members raise concerns or advocate for change, they are met with resistance, conflict, or gradually pushed out of the organization. This creates a culture where speaking up about safety, professionalism, or modernization is discouraged. Such an environment not only drives away experienced personnel, but also suppresses internal reporting of the legitimate operational concerns. This pattern represents a governance issue, not just an internal personnel matter. Last section is requests for action. I respectfully request that the Township Board and Trustee review medical response practices and certification compliance, evaluate leadership, conduct, expectations, and accountability measures, clarify the Township's official position on EMS service delivery, examine member retention trends and organizational culture, and ensure that all individuals raising safety and operational concerns are protected from retaliation. My intention is to prevent a situation where leadership practices, cultural issues, and operational decisions lead to preventable harm, loss of personnel, or legal exposure for the township. I am willing to provide additional information if requested. Thank you for your time and attention to these serious matters. Respectfully, Kate Clayton Gall, former Assistant Chief of EMS, Lafayette Township Fire Department.
It's a valid point. But also,
Would you guys like me to address that issue since it's all retained around me? I'll be more glad to come over and address it. That way you don't have to turn around, right? So thank you for the EMS chief. Right? And I asked, when all this was going on about the money, he's the guy that sat in the back and never said nothing. That's who you wanted to know who he was. He sat in the back and never brought any of this up. In the meeting that we had last month, he was late. There was a big heated debate on all of it. He's the EMS chief, knowing that our boss isn't getting out the door, sits in the back corner, doesn't say nothing. Brian, Jeremy, Josh is all sitting there. It didn't say a word. He was eating the cops. This one. I asked him, I said, Chris, I said, I got it too. Officers meeting, Corey was in it. 2 hour meeting, nothing. So, then like this, get the window, that pulled down, play on the phone for 2 hours. Didn't say one word. Corey left, and they said, why don't you say a word? Why don't you stand up and say something? This is your part. Yeah.
Understood.
I don't want to say, we need more money, we need more money, that's all it is. I said, well, why don't you fight for it? And I'm not concerned, they don't cheat. Look at that one, he's a 25-year-old kid. They're not used to being talked to, Stern. He probably shouldn't have been in the position he was, they probably should have put Sean Wilson in that position. That's the only option I had. That's over there at the time. So, and then later, she quits. Then her son quits. And then his retaliation letter that he didn't appreciate the way that the assistant chief was talked to or the way he was treated. I believe it was said, let's say it in his letter. Didn't like the way that he was talked to or treated. I didn't talk bad about him. I didn't talk to him. I told him to step up and do something for the department. Get the boss out the door.
There wasn't so much that it wasn't true.
That was on the email. He seen it.
No, I was on.
Oh, he got a lot.
And we talked for a long time. And, he said he can't do it. He just couldn't do it. Or he feels too much responsibility. Feel like he could do it. And when Mike, what I asked him is, okay, Mike, you feel like Mike got on you, but if you take that, tell him out of the situation, how do you feel about what he asked you? You know, just.
That's what
I'm just saying that's why he did.
you guys have to make a decision about what he said about me. So what's wrong with that? Since Clayton's gone, since Amy's gone, the hours, everything's been transferred. These guys have my office key back there. So they can get in, anybody can get in my office and do whatever they need as an officer. There's been communications, there's been discussions, there's been things that have to put in place on this, on everything. This is all comes out next week's meeting. You guys are more welcome to attend. It's next Thursday, 7 o'clock, in the background back there. So feel free to attend if you want to attend. Are you responding to scenes? Yeah, I'm responding to scenes. I give you the same size up, which in somebody's statement, and Mike's statement, leaving, that I was well capable of giving the scene size up. As far as EMS stuff, I let people know what's going on, and I can start CPR. I do not have a chief's vehicle. I do not have an AED. I do not have stop to stop bleed. I do not have any of that. That's how that it's above my EMT, my medical experience. I do not try to do any of it, none of that. I can do CPR. I am certified in CPR. And I do not, even all these can vouch that I've never stepped outside my realm of an EMT. So, if you guys want to punch me, you can punch me, that's fine. Clayton has basically an add-on for me. So,
Which one's Clayton?
he does that kid.
Okay. He's the one that was showing you who he was.
Yep, said the guy who never said that.
That's right.
Yep,
He had this smile on his face.
yep.
But what I was saying real quick to help those or not, he didn't like the tone. It hurt him. But he also said what Michael was saying was true.
And he's not gonna admit that, he's not gonna admit that to nobody else.
Michael has a voice.
Well, I'm just, I have to.
This was actually, when we talked, I don't know what we talked about, it was mainly about, he was,
I didn't get loud, I didn't get loud at all.
how long did he talk to you after the time? The day of, next
He called to him before he quit. He called him, and then he called me and told me he's quit. So, you guys can do that. I want you to, I try to get you guys to get on the active 911. You guys can see all the ones we get. You can get woke up in the middle of the night with us. You can do that stuff. I tried to get you guys last meeting when I was here. If you guys want, I mean, you tell me what you want me to do. I'll do whatever you want to do, but there's my dad on it. Yeah, there's other people in the room that can vouch for it.
So your meeting's a week from Thursday.
Next Thursday, the 19th, 7 p.m. And I think we'll be there to finalize our SOPs and SOGs or protocols for the EMS, and we will be finishing up getting
getting the state certification for the ambulance, making sure all our stuff's in date, and making sure everything's good to go, so.
Fit testing,
Fit testing for the air mask, so. Any other questions for me? No. Anybody got anything out there? Lisa?
Kevin, we're,
I got some. Yeah. So, just so you know who I am, Jeremy Cho, I live in Lafayette Township. And just so you guys know, I am running for Lafayette Township trustee and register of citizens and be a registered taxpayer dollars. I believe in transparency, accountability, and making sure every tax dollar is spent wisely and for the people of the township. I think the purchase of the fourth ambulance is a poor decision, when we have 3 others out there in bed. We're having a hard time getting them out the door, so what do we do for them? Okay? I was told by Sheriff Trustee Corey that he wanted to buy a new ambulance, just to hope we'll get more people to show up and make runs, which is a ridiculous way to spend township. Especially when he does not include the chief or any other officers inspecting out and purchasing. However, I'd rather spend money to provide the transfer out of 365 coverage. Our ambulances are all newer than our fire trucks, and no one of us saying I want to buy a $1.5 million fire truck, and that's not why I'm running for trustee. Okay? But since Corey has been a trustee with about 2 ambulances, one used from the city of Grangerson, when he asked the officer to look at the first one, to let him know what we wanted, the officer said no. His reply back was, "Too late, I don't write the check." Then he went about this one with no input from the forward. Also, I heard that Corey's been in communication with a person from East Madison Fire Territory. I'm 100% against fire territory. That Richmond joined with Chesterfield, the former East Madison in 2021, the average home property taxes went up $496. Do you want your taxes to go up?
No, I don't.
Do you, David? Do you, Rob? Of course. Thank you. Which I know I don't. Also, I received a phone call today saying the only reason why I'm running for trustee is for a $1.5 million fire truck. Now, with this being recorded, and on public record, and on YouTube channel, I guarantee you the statement, I do not want a $1.5 million fire truck, and that's not why I'm. I run the legislative department, get the truck up there, and not join the fire territory, and make my taxes go.
I have a question. Last year, and I'm saying this because I know that you called my son, there's going to be discrepancy, and that you here and there, saying that he needed to put more time in, and Micah logged over 300 hours, you put in just over 24.
I'm here as a township resident.
This question, how are you going to put the time in to support our poor relief, our citizens, the people that are here that need emergency assistance that day? How do you plan to do that?
I'm going to put down, and we'll be in the office doing the work.
Okay, and then your Indiana Township Association meetings, you're gonna have those figures and your training,
You're
and then
correct.
you're gonna go to the courthouse and sit in the investigation for 3 days and get audited.
You're correct. I will do what I have to do for the job.
Okay, and then do you have, a credit report and assets to, supply,
Are you giving him a loan?
No, but it is, no, he will have to, if he gets elected, he has to be bonded, and they will run a credit report, and they will check his assets, so you're gonna have what it takes to meet those requirements.
I will. I guess that's up to them. I don't understand why you're telling me on your phone.
I'm just asking you if you've done your homework, and if you're really prepared to take all of, this is not just the fire department.
I understand.
His job is not, and then, like, it's
I
just,
have
it's
a
budget.
the township residents tax. That's number one. And not make it go over. And take care of everybody else.
Okay, well, number one has to be quarterly, just like,
We'll discuss this later. I'm not trying to get into debate.
I'm not even, you're fully able to run for that position.
So you guys have a question? Thank you. So,
You might want to clarify that you're not questioning about a fire.
Yeah, so to reiterate what he said, yes, I did contact with, East Madison, and was not to former fire territory, as he seems to know what he thinks he knows, what he's talking about. I approached him to find out, because we couldn't, you know, with Michael, we can't seem to figure out how to get a bus out the door, but we can't make ETs take runs, we can't. We've got a handful that make it, we've lost 2 that made runs. I did approach him to find out what it would cost if we had to get to that point where we didn't have any other choice, but to sign with them do a group signing, I guess, because we already signed with Deadwood, without making runs, and I was just putting that on the back burner to find out what it would actually cost the township to do that. As far as poor use of township money, I don't know, go out there and look, you got one ambulance out there, it's got 197,000 miles on it, it's got supposed to be ready to turn up 200,000 miles on it, nobody will drive either. So, to me, it's poor waste of the township dollars on to set there when we can have 2 good ambulances rotating in and out. Don't have tax dollars because we did the reappropriation for the tax for all or whatever it's that.
That's your tax levy.
Thank you. Can get the proper wording. And I guess while we're on the subject of new items, in the last 6 years, the department has been approached 3 times that I know of about buying a new grass truck, and all 3 times, they've been turned down and told the trustees they did not want it. So, it's trying to better the department across the board, and it's not like they can say they haven't been told. Yeah, I didn't ask them about fire or about the ambulance, and yeah, I said I was hoping that would boost around and get more people showing up. Obviously, they're not thankful for anything, no matter what you do for them or help them with, so,
I have a question, just as a person, as unaffiliated, let's make that clear. Would it save the township money? I mean, when you discuss these numbers with them, considering what we have in our fire and ambulance budget, would it be more cost effective to subcontract that out?
yes.
Yes.
Exactly, you can subcontract that out, the ambulance.
Yeah. But if we don't have an ambulance, we especially don't have a fire department,
So it's subcontract it.
because we don't have any, per se, we don't have a whole lot of firemen.
Something out there.
No, we're not talking fair secretary, we're talking a month subcontract.
So that's what I wanted to understand.
Right now, Pine Creek Township is paying the city of Allen for EMS runs $200 a run for the year of 2026. After the year of 2026 into 2027, that will go to $300 a run.
Josh told me 1,200.
That makes $300, that's on the contract. It is $300 in 2027, it goes to $300 a run max. Whether they bill for it or not? Or do you know?
That's on top of the
Yeah, they do all the billing, they do everything, so we get, we pay them, the town, Pine Creek Township pays
So it
them.
doesn't matter, Crystal, to answer your question, it doesn't matter if they go out there with it.
That's my question.
Yeah, they still billing about $200 no matter what goes.
Yeah, and basically that $200 is to, because once Elwood goes out into the township, they call 2 people in immediately to have coverage. That's basically their all-call funding that they're doing, Elwood for.
Now, and I'll go on record on video also, I don't want a fire lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this place. As you can see, my room, volume compared to others, not even pointing fingers at one person, but I was in the 5 or 6 that he named for January, it was in double digits. So, and plus putting in my time here, plus plowing snow, plus working a full-time job, plus trying to help the kids take care of 2 other houses. So it's a never ending, whether you're getting phone calls from whatever time of night, I get it.
I don't know that I checked the tax rates before I retired. And all the people, all the townships and the cities and everything that went in that mess down there telling them there's gonna be a lot of people screaming when they get their taxes. People don't realize when their taxes go up until they get that tax statement, they see how much they're gonna have to pay. Then they're in the auditor's office wondering, why? Well, you're in that far territory, because we have the same thing with Union Township over there. Why did my taxes go up so much? Well, you're in a far territory.
But we're talking thousands of dollars in some cases.
Yes, and then you're talking about a lot of farmers out in this area that, they have a lot of land. The best values went up on farmland. I don't have a lot, but what little I have,
Of course, everybody, if I'm wrong, but Senate Bill 270 right now says that no fire departments can enter into fire territories.
As long as they touch another territory, they can't enter it. The township has to touch the territory. So,
So they're,
it's got the Stony Creek and they can go to the tax rate or whatever the territory is, even though Senate Bill 1 stops it at 46.
so, until, because right now they're trying to minimize the number of trustees across the board. Between the trustee and the board members, I think that number there was 4,000 elected officials across the state. They're trying to,
But it's a lot of townships, like Boone Township and Jackson.
yeah, so some of them are gonna take in the taxes won't be that, but the responsibility of all that quotas and all that will go to Boone Township.
The smaller townships will be absorbed by the bigger townships.
And they want to cut that in half, those numbers in half.
You might be all right, let me answer, I got a question real quick, real fine. We're one of the only ones, I believe, that does not tax for the ambulance service on our tax rate right now.
You bet there. Okay, well, I talked to you, we can,
I'm sorry, I was late.
but it's gonna come out of the fire tax rate. So I just threw 20 cents out there on every $100,000 or whatever it ends up being. You got to figure out, somebody got to figure out how much out of that 20 cents you want to take from the fire budget to put in the ambulance budget. You're still only getting whatever they're giving you now. It's just going to be split different in different funds with different line items. It can be done, but it won't be able to be done until 27.
Let me get this correct, just so I understand and everybody in the crowd understands. If we pull that, so we call it 10 cents. So if we pull 10 cents out there and say it's, I don't know, $100,000, we'll just use that number, $100,000. So if we pull that $100,000 out, that's the budget we have right now. So the $105,000 that we're bringing in on the billing goes on top of that, and we can spend that. So now, technically, we don't have to spend it, because it can go on an item where it can go personal services, fire truck, ambulance, or whatever. That $105,000, I think the actual what we billed was $230,000, but we only brought in $115,000, and we're still going after $15,000. Am I correct, Chris? What was the numbers? We billed $230,000 in 2025.
I can't answer that, I don't remember.
That's what Blake said in the last meeting. We billed $230,000, we brought in $115,000, and we're still going after $15,000. So, using that magical $100,000 is our budget that we got off that 10 cents off the fire capital. So that puts $100,000 in our EMS service, correct? So everything we bill after that goes on top of that $100,000 and continues to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Because that's all, remember 4 years ago when we sat in the same room and I said, we got to
That's correct.
no, but I didn't know it until 3 meetings ago that we wasn't billing for EMS purposes. I didn't know we weren't taking tax money out. But when Steve set this up, we should have been taking tax money out from day one, and we would have had $800,000 in the bank account by now. All the money that we billed, well, whatever it is, for 5 years. Yeah, whatever we billed for 5 years, $100,000 for 5 years, that would have been $500,000. That would have been on top of the EMS cost.
Correct.
They keep coming back.
So your maximum tax levy will be reduced for the fire and shifted over, part of it will be shifted into the EMS, and the money collected from the services of the roads will come in. But remember, if it's 105,000 and you get 100,000, that money comes in, that's your cash balance. You cannot spend that until you make your budget match that and file additional appropriation.
But we can set it up in a different account, correct? Now, you've been in this for a long time, and
All EMS stuff has to go in the EMS line item.
right, but it could be in EMS,
It could go into,
like a rainy day fund, an EMS, something like that, on the billing side.
you could put it in a non-reverting fund, which is what you've got now anyway, because if you ain't got the appropriation amount to spend it, it stays there. See what I'm saying? This is your nugget. You got your cash balance, you got what you're bringing in, your receipts for the year, your disbursements, and then the DLGF sits over and says, okay, well, here's 150,000, that's all you can spend. But if you have a cash balance in there above that, yeah, you can come in and ask to spend it, but remember, whatever you do in this year, you need to try to make that your next year's budget, because you don't know if it's all gonna come in the same amount in that year. But if it's put, Michael, in the EMS fund, it cannot be spent on anything else except for EMS supplies.
Or personnel, correct?
That EMS budget, personnel, insurance.
Because that's what we need, we're just trying to come up with another line where we can have.
You want to keep on personnel every time, so that's the chief still said there, you can use a branding EMS personnel, correct?
Anything EMS related, let's just put it that way, EMS related, the billing from that comes in right now, we deposit it into the EMS.
But we don't have enough coming in right now, because we don't do enough runs, and we don't have enough sustained of, an extra whatever.
And I'm gonna say this again, I said this in plenty of meetings. The two ladies that you had working back there making sure everything was getting done and filling those reports and getting that stuff in is the biggest part of the collection. And I have seen this department, in my own personal experience, I can't talk for anybody else, I've seen this department pulling more EMS funding than any that I have seen.
There's a lot of money out there.
You gotta keep building on what you already have, and we gotta get through this fighting stuff.
Lisa, you remember 4 years ago when I told you, like, some bills, they have a tax bracket where they do that, and then they use all their other money to pay the 24 hours? That's where I was trying to get us to 4 years ago, but I didn't know we weren't taxing for the EMS.
No, that's because that's how Steve set it up.
Well, I didn't know that till 2 weeks ago, or 2 months ago, whenever Corey brought it to our officer meeting, he said that we're not taxing it.
We're self-funded.
That's been the problem the whole damn time, because if it wasn't the problem, we could have done that 24 hours coverage, because we could have had enough money to have people here for 24 hours.
So you're not, you are self-funded, and when you are
Well, we
self-funded.
need to change that to where we get some tax money for 27. That's just the bottom line. That's what we need to do. Figure out what we can, well, I'll come up with a number for you guys.
Yeah.
27 budget, for all this.
You would have to vote on it in the August meeting, correct?
August, September meeting, you have, Michael, those numbers need to be brought.
I'll have to do it in the next 60 days.
Well, let's wait till June and bring them, and we all start sit down and start looking at the whole budget. Because you can bring them, I don't want to miss something or something change on that, to do a correct budget. Everybody needs to come together, this fighting is just, I want to say some words, but I don't know. Well,
There's some things that has to jump out, and I think some of it came out because most of that letter is, that was read is not 100% true. I forgot to remember that people are quick on this, but actually addressed to the chief the other day on Saturday. And my niece's birthday party that said he heard through everybody else. This is all River Mill, but we're gonna get called more now since Clayton's out of the EMS department.
That's the same thing was told to me, and I told that to Amy when she called me. Because
Here's the
So,
thing.
this is my niece's birthday party, you know, that Saturday, you know who was there.
Yeah, here's the thing.
So,
You believe about 50% of that bullshit, I'm just gonna say the word bullshit.
that's what most of it is.
You know,
And separating from the fire and EMS, I don't know, because all the fire guys drive the ambulance all the time. So I don't know where the separation comes from. But all the money you're seeing goes basically to the ambulance, but all the ambulance stuff, I don't know why the fire guys,
you know
what
what
the
about it?
separation is. They like,
Yeah, that's what the shit's doing.
that's why I don't know what separation is for fixing. To me, he's not EMT, the fire, he drives the ambulance. He's not EMT, he drove in, walked the private ambulance. He's not EMT, he's the fire, he drove in the ambulance. I mean, where the separation comes from? Can't answer. That was the latter thing, what you wrote, you please respond to that, and tell me what we can do. And so,
He's not here to share or respond.
I know, so then,
Here's the thing, 9 times out of 10, he's sitting and watching for speed.
I hope it is.
Call him, ask him on the phone.
They won't answer.
I'll call when we get down here and ask him, because I'd like to know so we can fix it, because we're trying to rebuild, we're trying to do something to make things better. It just seems like every time you do something,
It's 5 steps forward and 10 steps backwards.
Yeah, it's 20 steps back.
It's always been like that. Always.
Thank you, Lisa, for answering that question on the taxes.
And guess what? If it had been out a long time ago, probably would have, if we could have had this conversation a long time ago, probably 50% of this wouldn't be where it's at. I'm thinking.
That's what I tried to talk about 4 years ago, but we'll get to that afterwards. Let's let him get out of here.
Yeah, same. Sorry, Rob.
I just want our people taken care of. We expect all that special 911 in there. Like, I'm used so much to show up, you are used, at that time, maybe doing it. I don't know, give a shit about, they're never gonna have money and all that. It's about, we never hear us talk about doing what's good for the actual person who's ill, that car wreck and scared, you know, we talk about that. And I know what that's like, I've seen that in my life, all the time, there's that flying in the house.
You can't do something like that. It's going on,
That's one thing, I would like to invite the township board to actually walk through that door and see what you're signing your name on. Because I don't know if you haven't looked at the SOPs, SOGs, we're gonna start revisiting them. The officer that was in charge of it, I'd like somebody to, I'm sorry, I'd like you guys across the door. I know Dave, I talked about it before we get, I'd just like to see you guys go over and see what we got, what you sign your name for. Well, that one out there, it's just, he got that, but I'm sorry, I already talked about it. We're gonna get off early and get that.
You know, I'm headed to the fire department, but if I'm not asked to come,
Yeah, never go to you anytime you want to come over there. I don't think that's too stressful to do a different meeting. You know, the longest I can think of, Patty, I've seen you over there once. I don't know if that's good or bad, I've seen you over one time, and that's when I did the ground dedication for Billy. So, as assistant chief, I'll be good at that, you're more, I'm inviting you right now. Come over, take you on the phone number, I mean, you can call me anytime, I'll meet you up here, I'll meet you over there right now, I'll take you whatever you want to do it. Take me right from your house and pick it up, and the social worker came up there, I'll do it.
I've been over there, been in there, but I didn't remember anything going on. I drive by and I'll see cars, but I don't know whether it's a meeting or.
You're meeting here 7 o'clock in the evening.
You're open anytime you want to come in there, you see a car, here, it's going to do it. come in here and talk, see what you're,
You're more than
you're more welcome, we don't hurt you with that problem. Everybody give you an application.
Nobody even
I'm
like
so retired.
You got plenty of money. That's all I have, thank you guys for all you do, and
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I have a motion to adjourn.
One second, give me a second.
Nobody knows the second.
I think I'll
Well, again, we get over to the call, I guess better than you're going to all the way down there. One on the right side, the east side, and one on the I think it's kind of just shut out on the ground. And all I gotta do is get my information.
Actually, that's either a great art or like it's from.
That's nice.
Look at that.